20 August 2024 তাৰ আমি আজি deep dive daily current affairs analysis to আৰম্ভ কৰিব লৈছো and today we'll be covering this important news. Our first news is on gig workers. So the news is on that Rahul takes an override, flags light up gig workers. So we should know what is who are gig workers or what is gig economy. So before going to what is gig workers, we should know what is gig economy. Gig economy, it refers to a labor market where occupations are temporary contracts or freelance rather than full-time employment. So a gig is any task or assignment that the worker accepts, whether it can be a one-time project or long-term contract with numerous clients. So আজিকালি যিখিনি আমাৰ digital platforms by apps আছে app-based, that is only workers as a তেওঁলোক আমি we consider them under gig workers. So digital platforms and apps that link employees with customers and clients who use their services frequently make this type of employment easier. For example, Uber, Ola, Zomato, our day-to-day life আমি যিখিনি বস্তু ইউজ কৰি আছো এতিয়া the evolution of gig economy in India. So pre-1990s informal work arrangement asile, so existence of an informal economy in the rural areas and informal arrangement among all urban areas that industrial hubs or domestic spaces asile. Then the time 1991 of LPG reforms ahile, LPG reforms ahar pisot we see a boom in the service sector. So MNCs flooded the Indian market and তাৰপিছত লাহে লাহে extended hours of work with odd hour shift আমাৰ এটা concept এটা আহিল. Then পিছত যেতিয়া আমাৰ 2001 ৰ পৰা we see an improved access to the digital resources, internet ahile, mobiles ahile, so তেতিয়াৰ পৰা লাহে লাহে we see a growth in the informal sector after আৰু তাতে informal sectorত আমাৰ কিছুমান changes আহি পেলাই we see internet-based income generation opportunities. Then starting from 2011, there's a rapid increase in the number of freelancing platforms and digital startups. আৰু যি আমাৰ এটা gig culture এটা আৰম্ভ কৰিলে. Then আমাৰ future-টো বহুত ইয়াত bright হয় because Indian gig sector is expected to contribute 1.25% of GDP by 2020 and also add 16 million jobs to the economy. এতিয়া ইয়াতে এটা বস্তু চাব লাগিব যে যেতিয়া আমি এই ফ্ৰিল্যান্সিং প্লেটফৰ্ম বা এই ফ্ৰিল্যান্সিং প্লেটফৰ্মৰ কথা কওঁ তেতিয়া আমি ফৰ এক্সাম্পল জমেটত we don't call them Zomato employees, we call them partners. যেতিয়া আমাৰ নোটিফিকেশনটো আহে যে your Zomato partner is has picked up your order and because they were not considered as regular employees, they are considered as partners. Who is a gig worker? An individual employed transactionally on a time or task-based manner, having flexibility to choose their hours of work. For example, আজিকালি বহুত ক্ষেত্ৰত বহুত মানুহ দেখা পাওঁ যে আমাৰ day-to-day life. For example, he works at a certain organization and he has a job from, let's say, 9 to 6. So এনেকুৱা মানুহবোৰে কি কৰে জেনেৰেলি ঘৰৰ পৰা আহোঁতে বাইকত আহে কিবা কৰে আহোঁতে ৰাতিপুৱা 8টা বজাত ঘৰৰ পৰা ওলাব ৰেপিডত এটা দুটা ভাড়া পাই যায় আৰু টাইমত গৈ অফিচত পায় and he earns some extra income. So সেইটো কি হয় এটা টাস্ক বেস মেনাৰ, he can choose how many trips he will take. কোনোবাই হয়তো দিনটো ট্ৰিপ হেৰি কৰিব পাৰে বা কোনোবাই এটা দুটা ট্ৰিপ কৰি বন্ধ কৰি দিব পাৰে. So it's that time and task based manner. Then 15 million freelance workers across various sectors. Then this could have a potential of adding 90 million jobs. এতিয়া যদি আমি চাওঁ, so our breakdown of India's gig workforce. higher skill freelancing যেনেকৈ IT design management তো তাত আমাৰ 42% মানুহ আছে personal services care wellness teaching low skill gig work যেনেকৈ cleaning deliveries ride sharing then there are others so India আমাৰ gig economy কাৰণে key players কোনটো আছে Uber and Ola in personal transport sector Swiggy Zomato Delivery Dunjo they are delivery companies Urban Company and House Joy home personal services flexing it and Upwork high skill professional tasks so our percentage of companies looking to hire gig workers actually by sectors then FMCG pharma sectors we see 15% 69% financial এতিয়া ওপৰতো that is by 2020 আৰু এটো future FMCG 15% আছে and it is expected to rise by 69% in the next 2 to 5 years then financial services banking insurance to increase the manufacturing technology and BPO services so what I mean the gig workers so that's why it is said that it will contribute to around 1.25% of India's economy regarding the gig economy some key highlights prospect according to a report by Niti Aayog the platform-based gig economy in India has grown rapidly in recent years and driven by factors such as demographic dividend, urbanization, digitalization, consumer demand. So Niti Aayogor mote ekita karonot amar gig economy rapid growth dekha paise. Then there are platform-based gig economy. There are about 24 million platform-based gig workers in India. Platform-based mane Ola, Uber, Zomato, Swiggy, Delivery, those kind of things. As of 2021, and accounts for 6.5% of the non-agricultural workforce or 4% of the total workforce of the country. This is important. Inequa data, it is very important for you to substantiate your answer in mains examination. Niti Aayogor report etu koise the platform-based gig economy can create up to 56 million new jobs by 2930, adding up to 1.3% of India's GDP in the long run. Then non-platform-based. According to Invest India, there are about 120 million non-platform-based gig workers in India and accounts for 32% of the non-agricultural workforce. Then this is a non-platform-based gig economy. It can create up to 34 million new jobs by 2930. Then economic contribution. These are actually important data for your mains exam. So economic contribution in 2020, Assam projected that India's gig economy could rise at a compound annual growth rate of 17% to $455 billion by 2023. Then NASSCOM mote the gig economy will contribute around 1.25% to India's GDP by 2025 and potential to create 9 million jobs. Gig economy at an important point is the female labor force. So the female gig workers benefit from income generating potential, choice, flexible work modalities of the gig economy. So amar lahe ki hobo female labor participation to bahi jabo. So women participation in gig economy has already increased from 18 to 36%. So our last into periodic labor force survey report to gender disparity point highlight price then the economy has the potential to address such kind of issues in the Indian economy. Niti Aayog at a 5-pronged raise approach to ensure realization of full access to social security for gig and platform workers. It actually recognize, allow, incorporate, support, ensure. First alphabet RAISE. This is what Niti Aayog recommended. So raise the varied nature of platform work to design equitable schemes so that benefits workers. Allow augmentation of social security through innovative financing mechanisms. Incorporate while designing schemes the specific interest of platforms. Factoring the impact of job creation, platform businesses and workers. Support the workers to subscribe to government schemes and welfare programs and ensure benefits that are readily accessible to the workers. এতিয়া মাজে মাজে বহুত ক্ষেত্ৰত দেখা পাওঁ গিগ ৱৰ্কাৰ্ছসকলে বহুত প্ৰব্লেম ফেচ কৰে। So recently এটা study আহিছিলে যে app-based workers, they work for long hours with minimal pay. So aru bahut around eto probably আমাৰ Ola Uber driver ক্ষেত্ৰত সাৰ্ভেটো কৰা হৈছিলে, and 68% of the drivers say that their expenses surplus their profits. So এতিয়া আমাক এটা regulatory oversight এটা necessity আহিছে. So then আৰু এটা কথা যে gig workers definition-টো যোনটো আমাৰ new labor codes আছে, the labor codes of 2019, it defines a gig worker definition-টো তাৰ পৰা আহিছে. এতিয়া গভৰ্ণমেণ্টে আমাক কি steps লৈছে? Central legislation, the ভিতৰত আছে Code on Wages 2019, এটা universal minimum wage or floor wage should be provided to all organized and unorganized sector, including gig workers. Then the Code on Social Security 2020. So it mandates that gig workers are provided with recognition as a new occupational category. So they are they should get the benefits of dedicated social security fund to extend their social security benefits to the gig workers. Then state government is one initiative law. For example, Karnataka government has announced for gig workers an accident and life insurance cover of 4 lakhs, for which it will bear the entire cost of the annual premium. So the government of then so what important is the Rajasthan platform-based gig workers registration and welfare bill 2023. So it not only defines the gig workers that when registration of so that they received the guarantee of social security, then state will maintain a database of the workers and create unique ID. Then Rajasthan platform-based gig workers welfare board, Rajasthan platform-based gig workers social security and welfare fund for the benefit of the registered gig workers, and penalty on aggregators. So state government reserves the right to impose a fine which may extend up to 5 lakhs for the first contravention and up to 50 lakhs for subsequent intervention. So definitely this is a very important step for the social security of the gig workers. So this is our first news. Our next news too is India is seen as reliable Viswabandhu in conflict-ridden world, says President Murmu. Yeah, when we talk about Viswabandhu, we have already seen a question on CC last mains examination of CC exam. So directly that GS2, India has emerged as a Vishwamitra, Vishwaguru, and Vishwabandhu. So Vishwamitra to a Vishwabandhu same signifies because Mitra means friend. So examine the statement in the light of the development made by India in recent years. So yeah, that inta part is like 15 marks, 5. You have to explain each part and like equal weightage, equal proportions. So yeah, 5 marks to me if I directly become power Vishwamitra ki koise. So India Vishwamitra or Vishwabandhu kiya koa hoise. So what is the meaning of the term Vishwabandhu? Vishwabandhu is a term used to refer to a relevant country whose contribution is acknowledged by the world. The entire world believes that such a country will extend helping hand and has maximum friends with minimum problems. So India already at a Vishwaguru recognition paise. Now is gradually transforming into reality as nation now stands as Vishwabandhu, thus leading global problem solving initiative. The context is very wide. You can আমাৰ গোটেই ইণ্ডিয়াৰ ফৰেইন পলিচিটো এতিয়া বিশ্বগুৰু আৰু বিশ্ববন্ধুৰ এম্বিটতে চলি আছে. So we will see how. So India, we all know it is a multipolar world. So India relation to with the 3 major poles of the world: US, Russia, and Europe. And it continues to expand on separate territories because at the same time India is maintaining strategic relations with the United States. Then also India is maintaining its relation with Russia as a old-time partner. However, US and Russia are on loggerheads over Ukraine, but India is able to maintain friendly relations with both the countries. Similarly, the case of Europe and Russia. So we have seen that India নিজৰ relation সকলোৰ লগত ভাল লাগিছে. So that is what the term বিশ্ববন্ধু signifies. যে সবৰ লগতে ভাল আৰু minimum problems আছে. Then এতিয়া যদি চাওঁ present context, there are 3 high-profile projects in connectivity sector from India to Europe. তাৰ ভিতৰত এটা হৈছে India, Middle East, Europe economic corridor. Second to the international north-south corridor via Iran and Russia, via Iran. Then third to is it will reach Vietnam and the Indo-Pacific via Orissa coastline and northeast region. Maybe it will come under the ambit of the APSC policy. So tinta beleg amar connectivity program and tinta programot amar separate areas and separate problems ase, separate geopolitical factors ase. So how is India balancing them? Because India has good relations with all countries. That's what the term Viswabandhu signifies. Because for connectivity, the countries need to come together and contribute. The main factor to hoise trust. So this is where the term Viswabandhu comes into play. So countries having not so good relations among themselves want to partner with India. For example, Saudi Arabia, Iran, Russia, Singapore, Vietnam, and others want to work with India. For example, India has very good relations with the Muslim countries of Middle East and also with Israel. But the Gulf countries and Israel have better relations. Yate eta kotha koisilu je that such a country will extend a helping hand. So India helping hand keneke agbahaise world in the world to solidify its position as Viswabandhu. Eta jodi sao in India always responds to times of need. For example, evacuation of Indians. Indians foreign nationals evacuate korise. So in the last 4 to 5 years ba tara agor ami dekhisu je whenever there is a situation in the world, India is always the first responder, and India has launched numerous missions to safeguard its citizens. For example, the Vande Bharat mission, so 3.2 crore people, they were facilitated during the COVID-19 air bubble arrangements, including the air bubble arrangements till March 2022. Then Operation Devi Shakti, evacuation of Indians under by IAF from Afghanistan. So yate 448 Indians asile, 206 Afghans asile, and 15 foreign nationals. Not that India gal nijor citizen evacuate korise, belek country banhu evacuate korise. Then Operation Ganga. So Russia-Ukraine crisis of India has launched the Operation Ganga, where 18,282 Indian nationals were brought back to the country. Operation Kaveri, along with Indians, we have evacuated foreign nationals from Sudan during the Sudan civil war. Operation Ajay, to these people were evacuated from Israel. Operation Samudra Setu. So COVID-19 time of Operation Samudra Setu launched and it was a naval operation. Then Operation Rahat, so Yemen conflict when the Yemen government Houthi rebels were fighting, then many people were evacuated by sea. So these are kind of response that India shows to the world. So whenever there is a problem, we respond. We never left anyone. There are evacuation for Pakistan nationals to India evacuate for reports. Then humanitarian assistance and disaster relief. So whenever there is a disaster strikes in the world, India responds. India sends rescue operations. For example, Operation Dost. After the devastating earthquakes at Turkey in February 2023, India promptly deployed search and rescue teams, medical personnel, and relief material to Operation Dost. Although India and Turkey relation to it's not so good in the recent times. Rather not so good. Okay, we have some issues, mostly regarding Turkey's stand in the Kashmir issue. But still, when disaster ahile Turkey, disaster ahile India, bitter relations ba one words crossing hoisile ekini bad diple India responded as a help front. Operation Karuna, Myanmar cyclone Sitrang ohar pisot Indian naval ships laden with emergency relief materials, food, medicines, it were deployed. Kaveri, during the Sudan conflict, Indian Air Force airlifted around 24,000 kgs of humanitarian aid. Then we have the neighborhood first policy. So under the neighborhood first policy, India has pledged 12.25 billion at the India-Africa Forum Summit in 2023. Then COVID time the vaccine maitri. So India's showed its commitment towards vaccine diplomacy. Vaccine maitri, in fact, it represents a humanitarian endeavor with the aim of supplying COVID vaccines to nations globally. At a time when the other countries such as the US, the developed countries, US and all, they are trying to show vaccine protection. Vaccines kini bonaise nijor kane reserve hoise, but India, our approach to select, we along with keeping the vaccines for ourselves, we also send vaccines to other countries. So enekwa reasons karone India is recognized as a Viswamitra or Viswabandhu, and it has solidified India's position in the world. And this Viswamitra, Viswaguru, Viswabandhu approach, and it has shaped the present India's foreign policy. So our next news is the State Election Commission. The news is the State Election Commission begins work on electoral rules. So State Election Commission ki hoy? The State Election Commission, it is an autonomous constitutional authority responsible for administering elections to the PRIs and ULPs. So Article 243K and Article 243JD, it was inserted to establish a State Election Commission via the 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So before 1992, elections to these bodies were conducted by respective state governments. But the Constitution was amended in the 73rd and 74th Amendment via the 73rd and 74th Amendment in order to provide legal sanction to the local self-governments. So accordingly, the State Election Commission was established. So it consists of a State Election Commissioner who is appointed by the governor for a fixed tenure of 5 years and cannot be removed from office except in a manner on the likes of a ground of a judge of a high court. So the Constitution vests the State Election Commission and consists of a State Election Commissioner. Article 243K and 243JD, it gives superintendents direction and control of the preparation of electoral rules for and the conduct of elections to panchayats and municipalities. Then, tenure and appointment of the State Election Commissioner is appointed by governor. As per Article 243, governor, when so requested by State Election Commission, make available to the State Election Commission such staff may be necessary for discharging the functions of conferred on SEC. State Election Commission during elections, they can request the governors to make available the staffs. The provisions under Article 243K provides for setting up of SECs are almost identical to those of Article 324, which is related to election commissions. In short, State Election Commission and Election Commission of India same status enjoy kore. So State Election Commission election separate voter list prepare na kore, but Election Commission of India voter list use kore aru block wise ba ward wise demarcate kore. The State Election Commissioner out of power ase to register and deregister political parties in the state. And now that our panchayat election ahi ase, so you may expect questions on State Election Commission in the next mains and also on prelims. State Election Commissioner appointment level this one issue thake. Then Supreme Court at a ruling delay, the independent persons and not government employees should be appointed election commissioners. So giving government employees additional charges election commissioners is a mockery of the Constitution. That's what the Supreme Court said. So it directed state governments to comply with the constitutional scheme of independent and fair functioning of election commissions. Jodi konoba state government official state election commissioners have appointed for it, then the Supreme Court said that they have to resign before taking charge of the office of the election commissioner. And they also instructed ordered all state governments to appoint full-time election commissioners who will act independently and fairly. This is regarding appointment of state election commissioners. Then state elections commissioner functioning beleg time beleg suggestion dice. Supreme Court eta to saisui ami Supreme Court serving bureaucrats must not be appointed as election commissioners. Then second ARC, very important. The second ARC suggests that the state election commissioner should be appointed by governor based on the recommendation of a collegium comprising of the chief minister, speaker of legislative assembly, and the leader of opposition in the legislative assembly. Then the second ARC also proposes an institutional mechanism to facilitate the coordination, sharing of experiences and resources between ECI and state election commission. Similarly, the law commission in its 255th report on election commission recommends adding of a new subclause to Article 324 of the Constitution to establish a separate, independent and permanent secretariat for election commission of India, which may be similar to the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha secretariats under Article 98. So similar provisions can be made for state election commissions to ensure autonomy and fair local body elections. So these are kind of reforms which you can write in way forward a conclusion or any point in your answer. Our next news, it's on Court of Sports Arbitration. It was in news the last few days because of the issue of Vinesh Phogat. So recently, I mean, the Vinesh Phogat, he has appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sports in for permission to fight for gold. Court of Arbitration for Sports ki hoy. So it is an international body established in 1984 to settle disputes related to sports through arbitration. So it is based in Lausanne, Switzerland, and it operates independently of any sports organization. So the CAS has jurisdiction over disputes involving athletes, coaches, and sports federation. The court is recognized as the highest authority for resolving sports-related disputes and upholding the principles of fair play and justice in sports. So the CAS has nearly 300 arbitrators from 87 countries. They are chosen for a specialist knowledge of arbitration and sports law. The function, resolving legal disputes in field through arbitration. It provides by pronouncing arbitral errors. Resolution, they have the same enforceability as judgments of ordinary courts. Then it can also help parties to resolve their disputes through mediation, if this procedure is permitted. Then lastly, CAS sets up non-permanent tribunals, which it does for the Olympic Games. Then again, the Commonwealth Games, they cease to exist. Then athletes, clubs, sports federations, event organizations, organizers, sponsors, media and broadcasting companies. Issues they can go to the CAS. So it was in news. Then you can expect such questions mostly in pre. But yes, for to answer to use in case of fairness and all, and by example, use Then the next news, multimodal logistics park. India's first multimodal logistics park at Jogighopa in advanced stage. So you all know, Jogighopa got our Ashok paper mill asle. Tate government multimodal logistics park banai ase. So this MMLP, it will serve as a regional cargo aggregation and distribution hub for various industries, agricultural nodes, consumer hubs, EXIM gateways, such as seaport with multimodal connectivity. So it will, Jogighopat, jodi amar ekhon MMLP hoy, so it will help cross-border trade with Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal. আমি recently দেখা পাইছো যে আমাৰ BBIN, Bhutanor Gelefu Mindfulness City বা Indo-Bangla protocol route, এনেকুৱা আমাৰ বহুত agreements আছে, then Kaladan multimodal project with Myanmar. So এটা যদি আমাৰ এখন multimodal logistics park হয়, then গোটেইখিনি বস্তু আমি যদি bigger picture চাওঁ, it will serve as a very important hub for the cross-border trade. So what is a multimodal logistics park? A multimodal logistics park is a transportation hub that offers multiple modes of transportation and logistics services in one location. So it is a facility that integrates various transportation modes such as rail, road, sea and air, as well as warehousing, storage, distribution and value-added services. আৰু ইয়াৰে প্ৰথম logistics parkখন Jogighopat construction হৈছে, and it will be operational by next year. So the proposed MMLP at Jogighopa is one of the 35 state-of-the-art multimodal logistics park under the Bharatmala Pariyojana. The project is funded by Government of India and is executed by NHIDCL under the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways. So it already কৈছো regional cargo aggregation distribution hubs. The estimated cost of the first phase of the project was 693.97 crores. আৰু এতিয়া under Bharatmala Pariyojana 35 টা multimodal logistics plan কৰা হৈছে with a total investment of about 46,000 crore, and which once operational will be able to handle 700 million metric tons of cargo. So benefits যদি কওঁ, reduce transportation cost, faster delivery times, improve inventory management, increase flexibility in operations. এতিয়া এইখিনি আমি ডিভাইস কিয় কৰিব লগা হ'ব? Why multimodal logistics first? Because India যদি চাওঁ, logistics cost it's very high. It's 13 to 15%, 14% in 2015 compared to other developed economies. The China 7-8% তেনেকুৱা. Then World Bank Logistics Performance Index Report 2023 connecting to compete 2023. A report of India ranks 38 out of 139 countries. Although India's rank has improved by 6 places from 44 in 2018, but yet we need to achieve more if we are to realize our visions like making India, make for the world, and other such things. I mean, the global manufacturing hub, I mean, India proposed as a potential destination is project Korea. So we need to have a very good ranking in the logistics index. Then, so the our MMLP, so it is so our a logistics of key lab. Freight aggregation and distribution, multimodal freight transport, integrated storage and warehousing, information technology, support and value-added services. এতিয়া current situation কি হয় আমাৰ? যদি আমি current situation টো চাওঁ, কেনেকৈ আমি cargo move কৰো? Point to point movement of fruit. এটা point A পৰা point B লৈকে যাব, ট্ৰাকৰ বস্তু লোড হৈ আহি যায়, জাহাজৰ বস্তু লোড হৈ আহি যায়. But the ideal situation হৈছে, it is the hub and spoke model of freight movement. For example, let's take the case of Mumbai and Delhi. এতিয়া মুম্বাইৰ পৰা কিছুমান বস্তু দিল্লীলৈ আহিব. So how it should be transported? Then the ideal thing is যে আমি সৰু ট্ৰাকেৰে logistics park চলে আনো. Logistics park আমি হয়তো ডাঙৰ ট্ৰাক বা ৰেল বা ইনল্যান্ড ৱাটাৰৱে in various modes we shift the bulk cargo to the Delhi logistics parks, and Delhi logistics park পৰা suburbs লৈ আকৌ again সৰু ট্ৰাক দি transport কৰা. This is the ideal mode of freight movement. Not the thing that আমি Kolkata বস্তু লোড হল and it will come via Srirampur to Guwahati. Never নহয়. And এতিয়া অসমৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আমাৰ আৰু লাভ হৈছে because the number of waterways have been increased. Government is giving very sincere focus on the inland water transport. Brahmaputra navigability ওপৰত কাম কৰি থকা হৈছে. So all these things, it will help in achieving our better logistics services. So এই গোটেই কথাখিনি আহিলে the logistics efficiency and enhancement program, it is called LEAP. It was an initiative by the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways and the National Highway Authority of India to improve India's freight transportation system. The program aims to reduce cost, time, congestion, and improve the tracking and traceability of consignments. Tare a policy part of the we are developing this MMLPs. Then Prelims Factual news কেইটামান আমাৰ চাইছো যে green cat snake first time according Manipur direct question কৰিব পাৰে. So government that's farmer লগত MOU sign কৰিছে to tackle the problem of artificial flooding in Guwahati. Then World Mosquito Day এতিয়া পাতো 20 আগষ্ট. Then Bineshwar Brahmo. So that's all for today. Thank you.